Well, it is the 12th of October, 2025, 2 days after Moi Day.
It's Mazingira Day.
Today we are taking stock of what has been happening in the country, especially for the past 2 weeks. We've seen so many activities that have taken shape in the country, and we've seen high-octane politics where we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, say that the current government has been taking back what he achieved in the period that he was in office. We've seen the president today saying that he wants to move Kenya from the third world country to a first world country by 2055, 30 years from now. We've also seen a new handshake between the president and the chairperson of KANU, Gideon Moi. And of course, we've seen that response from the opposition led by Rigathi Gachagua, the DCP party leader, and Wiper, saying that Kalonzo is the flag bearer. Today, we have an opportunity to have people you have heard on this show, and I just want them to introduce themselves.
Happy Mazingira. Mazingira na mazingara mazuri, mazingira mazuri. I hope you planted the trees. Gabriel Mudhuma, Deputy Government Spokesperson, endeleni kupanda miti. And all I'm asking is, I think as Kenyans, somebody was saying, how many trees are we going? In fact, I had a banter with somebody, very quickly, Manyora, I had a banter with somebody. I said, is this project, can it be done? Can it continue? I was like, you see, we think just because it's initiated by government, it should be government run. No, it's up to us, the citizens who love this country, to continue making it better and great.
Talking about Mazingira Day, nothing brings shame to the country more than this so-called Mazingira and tree planting. You've seen that video doing the rounds of a cabinet secretary going to plant 2 trees with I don't know how many vehicles, guzzlers, big vehicles, escorting a cabinet secretary to go and plant 2 trees. Last year they had helicopters moving cabinet secretaries and other government officials across the country. It never stops. Amazing and very worrying and disturbing that we are doing everything possible to confirm to the world that we are indeed a poor, dirty third world country. Because one of the chief defining characteristics of a poor person is wastage. So this country continues to waste funds. When my colleagues at the university are on the streets, just asking for 7.9 billion, reducing professors to vuvuzela blowing people, dancing in the streets. And these guys can blow away this kind of money. It's a shame. It's sad.
Did you see someone yourself that was being escorted to plant 2 trees?
Yeah, but I've seen that. Last year you saw the helicopters.
We are talking.
Today we're asking about this week.
Yes.
When? Where? Who?
Listen, this week, senior government officials were being asked each to go to their primary school, where you went to primary school, and go and plant trees. They're using government resources. We have friends. We have relatives. They have all over the country. Hundreds, millions of shillings have been spent.
How many other young people, how many children? We are talking about 2,000 trees per every primary school. Don't look at it look at it as an initiative. 2,000 trees per every primary school. It's not something that's to be done every day. You're pushing an innovation that will continue for years to come. Prof, I think what we do, we belittle and, throw dirt on nearly every initiative that comes in. I can understand when he's talking about choppers flying. Probably that can be understood, even if not condoned. But you cannot throw dirt in such an initiative where we are looking to have nearly 15 billion trees in this country. It is an amazing innovation. And what we need to look at is 10 years from now, 15 years from now, this initiative that has been started, what will it look like years to come? How will Kenya look like?
Okay.
Gabriel Mudhuma, Deputy Government Spokesman, is right that this year they have not spent as much as they spent last year, which is good. It's correct observation.
That's what I said.
I want to remind him that the message you send is always very important. What message are you sending to hungry Kenyans when they see those guzzlers in the villages with sirens? No, Please remember there's no vehicle on the road, but there are sirens and those guzzlers. What message are you saying even to the international community? Given that today we live in a global village, what happens in my Lombe village is beamed across the world. What are people saying about us? Then they see us going to beg. You see, the few coins you are saying were spent this year, which translates to millions, would have saved a mother on that day who lost her child because of poor conditions. In the 21st century, Gabriel, Kenyan women continue to lose their children during childbirth in numbers you can't accept can happen in the 21st century. Maybe it would have saved 2-3 mothers from dying. Maybe it would have bought some medicine for some clinic somewhere in some rural part of this country. So it may be little. First, but symbolically, it sends the wrong signal. Secondly,
so what I'm
that
saying,
little money can be used in better ways. But more importantly, what message are we sending?
We've seen the president today saying that he wants to move Kenya from the third world country to a first world country by 2055, 30 years from now. Do you think we can achieve that?
That's a joke.
I didn't ask you whether it's a joke. I didn't ask you.
You see, if a country is moving towards a first world status, we must see the steps we are taking right now. When Lee Kuan Yew took over the famed Singapore, he was very clear about the path they were going to travel and the things they were going to do and how they were going to do it. Zero tolerance to corruption with the most severe punishments. Meritocracy, the very best person available for any job that is available. You see, and the target was so clear. The steps were so clear. The vision was visible to everybody. Here we are jokers. How can a joking nation get into first world status? They can't. Because we are jokers.
Why are we jokers?
Allow
me to ask him that question.
Every sector.
Why are we jokers?
Every sector.
Why are we jokers? You've talked.
Today I was talking to somebody about agriculture. How can you even tell somebody you want to come up with food security when perhaps this is the only country in the world where anybody can walk in with any seed and plant it in Kenyan soil? Where the most common thing among the farming communities is fake seed. Just begin there. So there isn't a single sector where we are serious. And in order to transform yourself from a poor, dirty, third world country, how they want to be called developing countries, to a serious country, you must first be serious in what you do. Seriousness must be evident in every single thing we do, which is, again, the most lacking thing in this country. There isn't a single thing we do as Kenyans.
How long do you think it will take? The president says 30 years to get to first world. How long do you think it will take?
Maybe 200, 500 years. It can't. You can't reach there. You need a complete change mindset. Okay? We must, as Kenyans, say, look here, what God has given us in terms of natural resources, what we have put in place ourselves in terms of what infrastructure and everything else and human resource, we are able to transform this country from a poor, dirty third world country to a first world country within 20-15 years.
I am shocked, literally shocked, that those words can come from somebody I really revere, as a prof, and I'm shocked for him to say 200, 300 years. He gave a very good example about Lee Kuan Yew, how he started. But what he hasn't done, and Emmanuel, this is the problem when you use catchphrases like he's doing, because what he has done is to mislead. He said Lee Kuan Yew did. Number one, he didn't tell you about the housing that they decided to do in Singapore. He didn't tell you about the Central Provident Fund. He did not tell you. He didn't tell you that Lee Kuan Yew nearly suspended the democracy. Did you know that? We have the most extent. The president decides to do this, 70 people go to court. He did not tell you. But he's here telling you how serious it should be. We today, we are using nearly the same principle that Lee Kuan Yew applied. We are using the same principle where the president is talking about Korea, South Korea, and China with Church and Mao. All these principles we are doing, we are starting to see them coming to fruition. And he can sit here and say, we are doing nothing. Today, when we talk about 26 million people who today are accessing primary health care, me and you know that much of the problems that we face are arrested at the primary health care level. You have so many people who today can go to hospital and not be turned away. When we had a system before that was only taking me and you, care of me and you and anybody else with a paycheck, what were we doing with the rest of the population that didn't have? Today they are covered. We have people who are living in the slums. Today they have an elevator. They have piped gas. Harman, Manyora, you cannot tell me that is no progress. You can say anything else, and actually we can understand even if we are not going to tolerate it, but you cannot tell me we are not moving in the right direction. So I agree with the president. If we put this motivation in, most importantly, we apply the discipline that is required, because this is what we are seeing. Kenya will be a first world country by 2055. I agree with the president.
You must get the fundamentals right. You must have a clear vision. These guys like Lee, Park in South Korea, they had a very clear vision. And they said to achieve this vision, this is how we shall travel where we want to go. Okay? To transform South Korea. Park set in motion the things he wanted done. To transform Singapore, Lee set very clearly the things they wanted to do and how they were going to do it. I'm telling you, for example, when it comes to developing the country, you need manpower. You need leadership. And he said the leadership of this country is not going to chase money. No. They are going to chase a vision, not money. Okay? Because it was a corrupt country just like Kenya. So we're going to have a leadership that will not look at money, instead the vision we have. Number two, you need people to develop a country. In order for that to happen, meritocracy is what will guide us. For every single job in Singapore, we shall get the best man to do that job.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You're a scholar.
But now
Prof.
for us, what do we do?
Okay.
We
Prof.
give every job we give, for every job we have, we get the worst person.
Again,
Like
how can you develop a country like that?
What are these goodies that we expect to get when we become a first world country? Why does it matter?
It matters because as a first world country, even before you join those other four, just on the way to there, people will not die from diseases that used to kill people elsewhere 200 years ago. You get it? Quality healthcare. Our children will get education, not what they are getting today. And they will learn in conditions that are 21st century conditions. People have always joked about schools. There are schools that are polling station schools. You see what they look like during voting. Then you ask yourself, those are the schools. And then during the presidential debate, they are the group of schools. So there are schools for presidential debate.
Groups of schools.
Yes, group of schools. Eh?
Okay.
Yeah? And then there are schools where people do the voting. My friend, this country is capable. Forget about 30 years the president is talking about. That is too long. This country in 10 years can transform to a country anybody can be proud of to live in, where we have the best quality and standards of life, where our children access the best education possible, where you get the best possible health care. That's what I'm talking about.
just the other day, it was me and him several years back saying hapana, hizi vitu haziwezi fanyika. Today, an area that people had given up on called Galana Kulalu. Look at what is happening. Give Galana Kulalu just but 2 more years. You will see what will be coming out of there. We have been able, Emmanuel,
What's
to
coming
become,
from there now?
we are heading to become food secure. By the way, just look.
What's coming from there?
Yeah, the amount, the maize ile imepandwa. What we are expecting, you saw the president
That's
the other
in fact
day.
a disaster.
Yeah,
Gulana
don't call it
Kulalu is a
that.
disaster.
Just because
It's a disaster.
just because somebody was unable to
It's
do
a
it.
disaster.
Just because somebody was unable to do it,
And because
The
it's
president
government
has
sponsor,
already. The president has already.
I can
No,
explain to
the
him.
facts are
I
there.
want to
Don't call it a
let-
disaster. Don't call it a disaster.
Why do you think it is a disaster?
It's not a disaster
Okay, let
just
me
because
explain
somebody
to
was
you.
unable to do
Okay,
it.
let me
Let's
explain.
And the
leave it-
president has
Let me
succeeded.
explain.
The other thing,
Let me explain to you.
Mumias.
Let me explain.
Na ametoka kwa sugar
we
belt.
shall get there. We shall get
Mumias
there.
ametoka kwa
Get
sugar
there.
belt. For the first time, he was shocked that he made a
No,
profit.
we shall
Okay,
make many
as a
things.
prophet
You know,
will be.
Gulana Kulal, when it started.
Galana Kulala.
Galana
You see,
Kulal,
you are talking about Gulana. You can't even-
when they started,
How is it?
let me tell you, when I talk about seriousness, I want you people to listen to me. When it started, we are supposed to irrigate 1 million acres.
When it started.
Yeah, that was the
Good.
dream.
Yes.
I don't know how you have scaled it up or down, I don't know. But 1 million acres, even a layman like me, and I remember I was on NTV. I said, do you have that kind of water? First of all, the river Tana cannot have that over. Do you have sufficient water underground? And imagine I'm a layman. It took them 2 years to discover, even if they were to do it, they wouldn't get that kind of water. It's not there. Number one. Number two, apart from the corruption that went into, and which perhaps they then scaled down. And they were saying, we shall do maize that will give us, they were even talking of 60 bags, let's say 40 bags per acre.
They are now saying
Now
28
they
to
have,
30.
They have gone 28 to 30. But
Yeah.
when it started, it was minimum 40. If you did 1 million acres, how many bags are those? Young man, you went to school recently, you know what I mean?
40 million?
That was 40 million bags now, Emmanuel Toh. That is Kenya's consumption at that time, almost Kenya's consumption at that time. You get me? So what was the government saying? And President Ruto was deputy president of that government. It was saying, all of you from North Rift, you will not plant your maize. Because government will have enough from Gulana Kulala. What are you? That is such a big transformation, such a shock. The foundations of agriculture in the North Rift was going to be shaken to the core. You'll turn all those people into paupers. They will not take their children to school.
not true.
Please listen. I'm saying very serious stuff. Kenyans are listening. Do you get what I'm saying? If assuming Gulana Kulalo operated the way they wanted, it means everybody who plants maize in the North Rift will have to look for alternative means of survival. Number two, Kenya does not have a problem with planting of maize. And it will be a waste of time, Gabriel, tell your government, to spend billions of shillings irrigating maize. We are blessed with ample rainfall to do maize farming. We have sufficient number of farmers, sufficient land. It is a maize farmer who is frustrated that makes it difficult for us to have food sufficiency. Because of the frustration of the farmer. If you want to do irrigation, you do horticulture for export. You get it? And
Not
local
maize.
market.
Not maize.
You cannot, huwezi kunyunyizia mahindi. You are so stupid really at the end of the day. Mungu anaopatia mvua mahindi inafanya. Sasa hiyo mahindi, there is fake seed because the government allows just about anybody to bring seed into this country and manufacture their own seed. Farmers are frustrated.
That's a lie.
In the past, we have had, please let me finish. We have had fake fertilizer, you know. Sometimes you go to some zones, I come from those areas, you find hakuna mtu mahindi inafika more than 3 feet because of the seed or fertilizer. You, at a scale that affects many farmers.
Okay.
But the worst, and please allow me to say this.
Okay.
The worst is marketing. Government lets farmers get exploited by middlemen. Because I grew up in those areas, Emmanuel Toh. If your father didn't buy you a pair of pants and didn't set aside your fees in December during harvest, hiyo mwaka hutasoma. Because money there is found only once during harvest. So what happens? Middlemen know that. So they go and exploit farmers. Buy the maize at throwaway prices. But the farmers must sell this maize because that's money for Christmas, that's money for clothes, that's money for feast, that's money for the next tilling the land. You get what I'm saying? Those are the things the government is supposed to address. Not go and nyunyiza maize in Gulana Kulala.
And I have looked for my brother Gideon. and told him it is time for us to move Kenya to the next level. And for us to move Kenya to the next level, we need to pull together.
All right, so they say in politics there are no permanent enemies or permanent friends, just permanent interests.
Yes.
And for the first time, we got another example of this. So, Gabriel, what was the interest in this?
Nowadays, I don't say what I think. I say what I know. As you've seen from the word go, the president wanted to bring everybody on board. And this is not the last. He is going to talk with each and every leader to come on board and support his manifesto, in particular to where he wants to drive this country.
It's good for people to join hands to build the nation, broad-based, bread-based, whatever it is, handshake, you can call it anything. It's good because we need unity of the country together. But I also want to remind ourselves as Kenyans that we fought so hard for us to have multi-party democracy. So that we were trying to get out of a situation where Kanu was Baba na Mama. You messed with Kanu, they expelled you from Kanu. They met one day, expelled you, and you lost your parliamentary seat. And the people fought, Emmanuel, to be able to get to a situation where we have breathing space in democracy, multipartyism, so that we have government, but there are also people who put government in check. I want to remind you, if we have forgotten, maybe you are too young, but let me remind you, those of you who are listening to me and have forgotten, people lost jobs fighting for multipartyism. People lost families. People went to exile. People were maimed. People were detained without trial. People were beaten. People were killed. People lost lives for this multipartyism. None of us should celebrate a situation where we are willingly dragging ourselves back into a single party state. It's not something to be celebrated. It is something to be shunned, to be ashamed of, to be denounced. It's not something anybody, any Kenyan should be proud of.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the People's Chairman, what do you think is on the table for Gideon?
For Man Gidi?
Yeah, because it's a give and take thing. Yeah, in politics, there's nothing like free lunch in politics.
Yes,
you give it, I give you. So
depends,
what is happening here?
It depends on how the game is being played. People like Gidi are part of deep state, part of the system. And the system people, unlike these other people, they see very far and they are patient. Nothing defines systems, deep state, more than patience. You can hurry, you can rush, you can think you've beaten the deep state, you can win the presidency, you can get away with one or two battles, but then they are looking at the war. Long range strategy, the grand strategy. So, if by working with Ruto, together with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, they know that's one way, one sure way of their families maintaining power over the next 100, 200 years. So that after Ruto, who is just a stopgap president, one of their children will take over. You see, that's how they play it. But sometimes they do that to protect their own interests, like you have said. Gideon maybe is already feeling the heat in terms of his own businesses. Maybe he's feeling the heat. And he knows by sitting down with the president and having a cup of tea, things will go anyway. And he won't be the first one. You have seen people defecting in this country. And if you talk to them quietly, I care really.
So what does the government get from him then?
Pardon?
What does President Ruto get from him?
The first thing that the president gets from Gideon Moi is a psychological score. Why? When people are campaigning against Ruto today, they are saying he's so finished that even his own Kalenjin people will not vote for you. You get it? And where do they get this from? On the ground, there's a bit of truth in that. Because even those people are feeling the heat, the pain, the hunger, the bad economy, the broken health system. They are feeling like other Kenyans. But blood is thicker than, when it comes to voting, they will vote for him. But when you listen to them, even as they talk. So people are campaigning with the name that even his own people will not vote for him. That is very bad for you if you are running for an election. You get it? Okay. So you are killing that narrative when you get his own backyard is intact. That's a very important thing in politics, psychological.
And the
but secondly also, elections is about resources. When you bring people who can fund your opponents on your side, it's a big score. I'm not saying Gideon, I know, is a mean person. Assuming he wasn't, that's my own assessment, and I'm allowed to. Compared to other people I have seen, spending during election, I've not seen him spending, but maybe I don't see everything he does. Okay, he could be doing it in his own style. If people like those are on your side, it's also psychological. That we thought Ruto was finished. Now he has people with him. So that's how it is. And what he gets, perhaps, you could see a reshuffle in which he features prominently in government, or do it the Uhuru way, where it's not you personally, but people
closer to him.
We saw the 4 ministers from Uhuru's side. We've seen 5 from Raila's side. Maybe Gideon will join the broad base by those tangible benefits. It's possible.
When it comes to the democracy that we enjoy, I don't think there's anybody who is taking us back to the single party. I don't think so. I don't see it, not now, and not in the long future. As a matter of fact, I don't expect a country like Kenya to ever go back to where they say it's a party of a single state. Having said that, I think when Prof was using that tagline is to show you that when the former Senator Gideon Moi has joined the president, it's like he's folded the party. No, KANU is still there. He's not folded KANU. When Honorable Raila, when he came and joined hands with the president, he did not fold ODM. And I think this is the catch. This is the catchphrases when Prof uses them. They appear as if something significant that will change our democracy or our constitution is happening. No, it is not happening. What we need to understand, and I think this is where we got it wrong from the onset, is we felt that once somebody is in the opposition, their work is to oppose everything that the government initiates. And I believe that is the mindset many people have. So if you do not agree with the person, you don't agree with the policies, you don't agree with everything that he does. That is why it is so easy for Prof here to say that, that healthcare system is not working. And I've heard several politicians using the word scam. Now, you ask them, if it has treated the number of people that have been treated, you have faith-based hospitals that have come to say, by the way, we are treating people and we are getting paid. What is not working exactly? That is a question they'll never be able to answer.
I might attempt. Okay. Can I attempt? I was in the village until a few hours ago. And I keep going home. And when I'm at home, I keep asking myself, these people who run this country, including Gabriel, do they even just take a little time to understand what's going on in this country? Sometimes I go to bed wanting to cry. Sometimes, Emmanuel, 2 things stick out when you are in the village. The poverty, the suffering. It is so visible, you wonder, how come the leaders of this country don't see it? The second thing is, and that addresses what this guy is saying, this Shah is talking about. People are watching people die at home. Die like this. Nothing's working. Those hospitals are not working.
Wow.
Access to health care is a dream to a majority of Kenyans. I'm speaking. If they are listening, they will tell you. Go in the countryside. Children are dying. They can't access medicine, health care. I'm telling you, that's the reality on the ground. We can deceive ourselves in Nairobi here because we have, I don't have my wallet. I also have an insurance cover. You have, I'm sure. You have. So we can say that from Nairobi here. But the truth is, over 90% of our countrymen can't access health care. That's the truth.
Who did that statistic?
That's the truth.
Jana huyu Ruto ameita Gideon Moi wa jamii yake ya Kalenjin, anasema Wakalenjin waungane. Mimi nikiita nyinyi anasema sisi ni wakabila, si ndio? Wakalenjin wakishikana ni umoja wa kimataifa. Watu ya Mlima tukishikana anasema ni ukabila.
Two things. Number one,
Okay.
I was here. I told you, if you want to help your president, also tell him a bit of the truth. That this Gachagua man is not what you think he is and what you are trying to make him be. He knows how to inject. And Kenyans are listening to him because of the way he's injecting. And his following increases by the day. That is a fact. How you deal with it is your own problem. Secondly, now directly the question you asked, which he didn't answer.
Where's the line?
It is the truth is that when you come from Mount Kenya, especially the Kikuyu people, anytime they attempt to do something, everybody says that's tribalism. But the same people who are saying Kikuyus are tribalists are doing worse than what they are doing. So I think it's a fear people have had about the Kikuyus in this country. I think that's to be fair. And it's also fueled by the sense of entitlement that the Kikuyus have always had in this country. That sense of entitlement is what drives Kenyans to be very apprehensive when they see Kikuyus getting together. What wakisikia Limuru, we are going to Limuru 4 now. There's jitters all over the country. But other people can mean the Buhungu, nobody even knows. Luyas are in Buhungu starting. Hakuna mtu anajali. Ama namna gani?
Where is that line? Where how do you say Gachagua is now tribal? When he's talking about Mount Kenya, and when the president is uniting the Rift Valley, how do you say this is tribal and this is not?
If you are calling people to come together because of challenges that they face, and you're asking, we come from this locale, our challenge is water. We come from this locale, our challenge is coffee, where the middlemen were taken away. People now are receiving top dollars they've never seen since independence. That is a problem.
That
solved.
is unity.
Yes. Tea has been solved.
No, answer
Look
the
at the amount of
question
money.
properly.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm
Mwalimu
asking.
Iko hapo, you are going to fail the exam.
Thirdly, people have met talking about the Mau Mau roads. Contractors are back on site. Guess what? Look at the amount of pending bills that were left. Today, they are back on site to finish those roads.
That's not answering the question.
These are
national
people,
unity.
these
So
are
what
people
is
meeting
tribalism?
economically. Now,
What is tribalism?
tribalism is what you've seen somebody doing.
Which one?
You go collect a lot of people and listen to me very carefully. And you tell them, guys, we come from this region. This is our problem. And the person who does not join us, number one, is a traitor. He needs to sing our tribal song. If we say this is the problem, that is what the problem is. And we compound this problem, and then we say, we are going through this because of that person there. He's the one to blame for it. That is tribalism.
Perfect.
What is this development Gideon Moi and Ruto talked so that we know it's not tribalism? What did they discuss? Did they discuss farming in Rift Valley?
Security.
What did they discuss?
Security.
How do we even
Quite
know?
a lot.
How do we even know what they discussed? Did you know
Okay,
yourself?
they spoke. There was a
Yeah.
press conference.
Yes.
So,
They
listen.
waliongea mambo mingi
Gideon
sana.
said there were roads that have stopped.
Correct.
That there's
So there
security
were-
problem.
Correct.
Water.
People at that
stadiums,
level, people at the level of
Exactly.
Gideon, people at the level of Gideon and the President Uhuru can meet to President Ruto can meet to discuss stalled roads and
Yes.
water in Rift Valley.
Why not?
And you want us to believe
Why-
that?
why not?
He's wondering why would Gachagua be firing people to be united as the mountain people, to kind of censure certain people, tell them they are not doing the right thing, they are traitors. I just want to inform Gabriel, maybe he's not a student of history like some of us. Nations go to war because of national pride and a matter of dignity. So if you do things to the Kikuyu nation, to the Mount Kenya people, they have every justification and every right to protect their dignity and their pride. And if pointing out traitors who stand in their way of achieving their community pride and dignity, there's nothing wrong with that. Because nations have gone to war, thousands of lives lost, even millions, to protect national pride.
That nonsense you hear community pride, run away from it.
Why?
That nonsense.
Dignity.
No, come on. There's no dignity in it. That community pride depends.
All
Do
right.
you have
Okay.
food? Is your economy sound?
We-
That is what
we
matters.
want to move
But
it.
you can't tell me,
Manners.
we gang up because you are proud. Tunalala njaa, barabara zetu hazijajengwa,
Gabriel,
wakulima wetu.
Gabriel,
Come on.
There's something, because of time, I know there's something that has been trending this week from, I think, Wednesday. Larry Madowo captured something that he actually did a very good job capturing some people who were breaking the law, and coincidentally one of them was a member of parliament for Kibra. It's called Mwalimu Orero.
Yes.
He's a teacher by profession, and he's been a member of parliament for Kibra constituency, and he's also been a teacher at Kanunga Primary and Kanunga School. So by all means, he should be a good example. For the record, I think the MP has not apologized yet for what he did.
Also,
What he said.
okay, let me explain.
Defending him.
Yeah, let me
Twitter.
explain. Let me explain two things, and I will not defend anybody. I mean, first of all, I'm a good student of policy and governance. So, one, you look at what the infraction, what happened. Somebody was driving on the wrong side of the road. It is very true what the policeman, the traffic, I think, is the traffic commandant, just emphasized. Who should be given the right of way? Yeah, the president and his motorcade, and I think the deputy president, the fire brigade, the ambulance, and which other one am I forgetting? Yeah.
Police.
The police. It is very well documented. Kila mtu mwingine yeyote afuate sheria na kanuni za barabara. Having said that, lastly, I've seen people pointing fingers at the MP. Now, here is where I want to speak to drivers. Madereva, be careful, because if anything was to fall, it is the driver who was behind the wheel. It was the driver who was controlling or manipulating the controls of the vehicle. So, sheria ikikuja na sheria ina mkono mrefu, he's be the fall guy. So sometimes it's good. He wasn't driving. It's like the alcohol blow. Unaweza kuwa umebeba jamaa mlevi kabisa, lakini he's not operating the motor vehicle. The person who is in problems is the one operating the motor vehicle, because you are not forced. Unless somebody held a gun over my head to make me do this.
There's something that MP said. I don't know that you heard it clearly.
Hiyo matusi takataka.
Kama alisaidia hiyo. Aliendorse.
Obviously, as an elected leader, there is obviously what you call...
Chapter 6.
Correct. And not only that, there is something called social responsibility. This one does not only apply to the Maheshimiwa, it applies to all of us. Because I see so many people, not only Waheshimiwas, matatu drivers. I see them do this on a daily basis. All right? So, it is all of us. That's why I mentioned social responsibility. Correct. We have to be alive to these facts.
Okay.
First of all, you cannot talk about the driver when the MP is seated there. He's already in violation of Chapter 6 and is it Article 10 of the Constitution. Really, that's he can't escape from that, especially Article 10. You must set good example, respect your office, blah, 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 blah. Public office like that one. But you see, you cannot even blame matatu drivers and other Kenyan drivers. The bad example is set by the leadership. The big boys and girls in this country, the way they behave on our roads, it must trickle down to every other driver. You get what I'm saying? I was once in my village, a village road. I heard a siren. I was shocked. I thought boys are walking with things. These gadgets children play with. But then a vehicle passed. They were really vehicles with the 99, woo, 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 in the village. I checked. It was the governor. I could not believe what I was seeing. In a village, this minister caught, whose video circulated in social media, on the Mazingira, they're going to plant the 2 trees with the gaslers. There were sirens in the wherever he was, and it looked like a rural road with a cow you saw a cow on that. You have seen, I'm sure you have seen it. As a media person, you have seen, with the cow wandering. Even the cow is wandering. And there are sirens. Bad manners. Even those who drive the presidential motorcade. You've seen people being hit by the motorcade. The speed, you even wonder. They are moving like magicians. You wonder, where are they going? This is their country. The road has been cleared for the president. But the speed and the recklessness of the driving itself, I'm left wondering, kwani, Where is this emergency the president? Where is this emergency the president is going to attend to? He's not a medical doctor. He's a PhD, not a medical doctor. You see, so these bad manners trickle down to other drivers, and then they land on Mheshimiwa Mwalimu, and then they go down to every driver.
Okay.
So the leaders must set good examples.
Last word. When we talk about social responsibility, you should not say that it started Nawale. Hapana. Just the other day, a few weeks ago, we saw a young man get into a car and kill 13 family members, the ones that were being buried in Moranga. They were on the wrong side of the road from what I've seen. And you saw those videos. It was a serious head-on collision. All right? You cannot say, anafanya hivi kwa sababu ya yule. Okay? Just a minute. The other thing which we must talk about is we need to really keep emphasizing, yeah, on good manners. There I agree with you.
At least manners, both of you agree
good
on that.
manners on our roads.
Yes.
Because let me tell you,
As we end the show on good
I
manners.
believe
On the
I
note of
believe
good
I believe
manners.
with what I
You guys
believe in
have
what
been well
I believe in
behaved
what
today.
somebody, true story, I believe in
Yeah.
what somebody in Dubai told me. I went and asked a police officer. This is a very good story in it here. I asked a police officer, hey, by the way, how come I do not see police officers everywhere driving? And he asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Kenya. This was way many years ago, about 2012. And then he said, you know, we learned that if people don't follow the laws, including the laws on the road, people die.
We have Mashujaa Day next
Coming up.
Monday,
Yes.
and it's coming to your region. What is the level of preparation?
Did you say it's coming to my region?
Of course,
Kitui.
not politically.
And my don't dog it Kitui. You dog it Kitui. First of all, I think it is an amazing day for all of us to go to yeah. It is a lovely stadium. And I've heard people using banters. Oh, somebody was in this place for these years. It has never been built. No. I think it is a good thing that it's going to a place like Kitui. It will be a good to showcase, including the thematic starting this week, which I'm so heavily involved. The thematic towards the Mashujaa Day will be energy. So we will be focusing on energy, umeme, you name it, the whole shebang. And by the way, I think whoever invented that these celebrations should be happening in each county, that was a genius move.
Okay.
Poor people are wasteful. Why do you want to spend millions of shillings on events that have lost purpose and meaning?
That's a national day,
Listen,
Prof.
even America has its national day. Do they do that? The things have been overtaken by events. Those stadiums are practically empty. Apart from people who have been ferried. When I was growing up, we walked many miles to go for Jamhuri Day. Those days are over. Nobody goes to those events. So government is just wasting money on events which nobody cares about.
The stadium will be full,
Listen,
trust me.
no, please, it's important. Let the president host people in State House. Dignitaries, the people he invites during Mashujaa Day, all these national holidays. Let's stop wasting money on things that lost meaning. And this is across these things are reproduced everywhere. You look at a graduation ceremony in a university, everything stops for a month. A lot of funds wasted. You go to a serious university in UK, it's a very simple event. Things have been overtaken by time and events. Ceremonies that mean nothing. There were times when these national days meant a lot and the people went. Today, you go to Uhuru Garden when they are there. There's nobody. So why should we waste money on things that no longer mean anything? A national day, yes, observe it in State House.
Okay. All right.
With a few people. Just like the American embassy, we
Emmanuel,
get invited there.
This